Good afternoon and welcome to Fox Chapel High School. It's a beautiful day outside and an exciting one on the inside. 30 years ago, students, teachers, administrators, and board members, many armed with shovels, formed the outline of the original layout today met to dedicate a new building. They had a vision of the future. Today we pause at the conclusion of a major renovation designed for an educational program appropriate to the 21st century, to rededicate ourselves and this building to even greater accomplishments. In terms of bricks and mortar, as well as curriculum and computers, we have built for the future from the solid foundation of our past. And now to get us started with this afternoon's program, I'd like to present to you a member of the class of 1990 and president of the Student Council, Tim Kerswig. Tim?
Thank you, Dr. Haig. Good afternoon. I would like to welcome everyone to the rededication of Fox Chapel High School. It took a few years, but finally the school is done. The jackhammers are gone, and there's no more construction men walking in and out of our classes. You've never really taken a test until you've had those jackhammers outside while you're trying to concentrate. Calculus has always been hard enough for me, but without those machines running outside, it just wouldn't be the same. There's no more entertainment of watching huge planes of glass being smashed out of their window frames or fire alarms going off during lunch. There are no more excuses to be late to class, the favorite excuse being, the construction men were in the way. I'm sorry, teacher, I just couldn't get here on time. There's no more scapegoats to be found. But what we do have is one of the best schools in the country. We have some of the best computer rooms, a new modern cafeteria, a great new TV studio with televisions in every room. A new building all over is found in Fox Chapel now. The only old aspect of our school is something we would never want to replace. What I'm talking about is the best teachers, faculty, and staff in the world. Along with the great students found in Fox Chapel, that is what makes our school the best in the country. But you don't have to take my word on that subject. Just look at March 31st, 1989's edition of the Wall Street Journal, and you'll find the same result. I realized how good our school was last week. I attended the Pennsylvania School Board Association conference downtown and talked to students from all over the state. What I found from their information to me was that their schools don't even seem to compare with ours. I hope everyone enjoys their visit to Fox Chapel High School today, and make sure you take the time to look around our school and walk around to see what our school has to offer to our students. Talk to the students who will be around to assist in anything you will need this afternoon. Most likely, they will be as proud of our school as I am. Thank you very much.
I invite you now at this time to stand for the invocation, which will be offered by Dr. C. Samuel Callion. And please remain standing for the playing and singing of the national anthem as presented by the Fox Chapel High School Brass Quintet under the direction of Mr. Daniel Traw and by the Fox Chapel High School Madrigal Singers under the direction of Mr. Craig Cannon.
Those of us who have been involved in any kind of a building program know something of the difficulties and the challenges involved. And so we can appreciate the significance of this dedication program. Let us come at this time with a real spirit of thanksgiving. Let us pray. Gracious God, we have long since known that education nurtures vision and hope as we struggle to make human life more human. People without vision perish, and where there is no hope, we know there is no incentive for a better day. Help us in this moment of celebration to also renew our determination to be more committed than ever to the unending task of educating ourselves and future generations, to face life and not to run from it, to be realistic without despair, and to renew our sense of responsibility as teachers, students, staff, board members, and parents, out of gratitude for the abundance we enjoy and the gifts of freedom passed on by our forebears. As we celebrate this occasion of new beginnings at Fox Chapel High School, guide us, O God, to be better informed and wiser in our application of the resources at our disposal, that all that we do might be to your glory. Hear now our prayers of dedication and thanksgiving, for we ask it in your name. Amen.
Today's version of Fox Chapel High School is certainly a sum of many parts, the result of the efforts of many people working both individually and collectively. We're pleased to have many of them here today as honored guests. First, I would like to acknowledge the guests on the platform. If you would just stand momentarily when I call your name. I'll start to my right. Dr. Robert Myers, high school principal during most of this escapade and now assistant superintendent. Jane Irvin, who is a member of the school board. Mrs. Nancy Edelman, member of the school board. Dr. James M. Burke, past superintendent, will be honored a little bit later in the program today. Mr. Charles Hart, member of the school board and vice president of the board. Mr. William McIntyre, who is president of the School Building Authority. Tim Kurzwig, you've already met, is president of Student Council. Dr. William Bresnahan is president of the school board. Dr. Freeman, who is the superintendent of schools. Dr. Callion, you have just met, is president of the Theological Seminary in Pittsburgh. Glenn Schultz was the leading architect on the project. Mr. Arthur Grindle is the current senior high school principal. Mr. William DeBonis. Get so many names here, get mixed up. Bill is the one who made it so nice for you here today. He is the head custodian of the senior high school. Patricia Norcus is an art teacher representing the faculty here today. Mike O'Malley, excuse me. Mike is here also representing the student body. Dr. Charles Torito is assistant principal in the senior high school. Mr. Vernon Koch is a member of the school board. And Mr. Robert Murray is assistant principal in the senior high school. I'll tell you one thing they fixed, it was the lights. They are very hot and very bright. I'd like to introduce some folks who are in the audience at this point. I hope I don't stumble too much. It's very hard to see most of you. Are there others in the audience at this point who are members of the current school board? Then I would like to move to the School Building Authority, another group of folks who generously give of their time and expertise when we get into building projects in the school district. Mr. McIntyre is chairman. You've already met. Mr. McSorley, I'll call names off. If you're here, would you please stand? Is the vice chairman. Bruce Hill is the assistant treasurer. Gary Davis is the treasurer. Bruce, I can see that far back. David Danino is secretary of the group, and James Kuiper is solicitor for the authority. Speaking of solicitors, I'd also like to introduce Mr. Tim Shearer, who is solicitor for the school board. Sitting next to Mr. Shearer is Mr. Harry Lodge. He's secretary to the school board. Also business administrator in the school district. I would like at this point to ask all members of the faculty, both past and present, to please stand and be recognized. I know I think there are a couple of old experienced school administrators here today. Would they please stand at this time? Former school board members, I think there are one or two of those here as well. The danger of this sort of thing is, of course, that you'll miss someone. It's my pleasure now to call to the podium the gentleman who has been the Chief Executive Officer of the school district since 1984, Superintendent of the Fox Chapel Area School District, Dr. Daniel Freeman.
Several people have commented about the spectacular day, and I have to concur. Pulled off to the side of the street out in front of the high school, coming down the hill, just to relish the sunshine by itself, but the sunshine just bringing out the colors around the school and on the school. And I have to tell you, it really made my heart swell. We are here for a ceremony of dedication, but I think we should call it a ceremony of celebration. In 1978, the school district retained the services of the architectural firm WTW, Williams, Treblecock, Whitehead, to work with district officials in preparing a feasibility study to address necessary renovations. In '79, that study was completed. In '81, it was updated with some additional work. It languished for lack of support. New faces appeared on the scene, both my own face, new school directors. WTW was authorized again in 1985 to prepare an updated version that also addressed the expansion in the high technology. Finally, with the support of these new school directors, a preliminary plan was approved in this auditorium May 19, 1986. May 1987, construction began, and here we are today, October 1989. Some 11 years after the process started, we are here today to enjoy this newly renovated and very attractive facility. I think you'll have to agree with me, it's certainly not just a dedication, it is a celebration. I think any commitment of a facility needs to address briefly. I have to emphasize that brief aspect, since the planning committee, I think, reminded me 3 times that they wanted it to be brief. And one of our school directors, I won't comment, but you can see her smiling, also reminded me as we walked out here to make it brief, or to be brief. And I shall. But in thinking about this facility, perhaps it was summed up most effectively by Paul Oles, the director of Buell Planetarium, when he was addressing the local Fox Chapel Rotary Club. He, in commenting about the planetarium, said it was state-of-the-art and that it was one of the finest in this part of the country. I think that statement not only characterizes the planetarium, but it characterizes the entire school system. Not only is it attractive, very functional, and brought up to date, with new lighting, new windows, new energy-efficient roofing, etc., but it has a high-tech commitment that will lead us into the 21st century on the cutting edge of new technology. The building is cabled so that we can connect up to 10 terminals in every classroom in the facility to our central mainframe. District approved and has in service now a new mainframe with tremendous capacities, which has created an entirely new computing environment in this school system. We have software in place now that the teaching staff is working to develop, which is literally awesome. Eventually, we'll have the entire K-12 curriculum loaded in the computer. Teachers will be able to access any particular part. They'll be able to develop tests from the computer or have the computer select random items to prepare the test. The teacher will be able to have the computer score the test quickly, enter the grade in the teacher's grade book, print a profile for the individual student as to what correctives should be worked on or what enrichment activities would be beneficial. The teacher will also receive a profile for the entire class to see if there are some key objectives that the overall group is weak in. We believe that this software and that computing environment will do a great deal to help us enhance learning. It'll help us to move away from just learning to use the computer to using the computer as a tool to improve learning. You will see as you visit the school later during the open house several computer labs. You'll see in the business department the opportunity to teach accounting on the computer, for word processing, teaching typing on the computer. You will see in the English department a writing lab where students can go on their own time as well as a part of a class function to use the computer as a tool to enhance their writing. As you visit the planetarium, you'll have to be impressed with that new facility. A number of arguments surrounded that facility as the building was being planned. I have to tell you that it's foolish for anyone to think that you can comprehend the complexities of our heavens and of interplanetary travel from reading in a textbook without the aid of a planetarium. I would have a difficult time, and certainly our student learning is much more efficient by having an appropriate laboratory. We have new science labs throughout the building. We have the new dining room that's designed like a fast food service. That's where our young people are used to eating. And I believe they are enjoying that facility already. Not only the appearance, but we have deep fryers, we have grills, so that we can actually prepare the food the way many of them are used to having it prepared. Prior to the renovation, we had to bake our hamburgers and bake our French fries, and you can imagine what our people thought of baked hamburgers. It wasn't any thrill to stand in line for an all-purpose patty that had been baked. Facility could go on, but in order to keep the comments short so that you will have time to visit those facilities, I want to encourage you to particularly stop into the new television studio. It's new for us. We're excited. Television is certainly going to be with us. It's made a tremendous mark on American society, and research has shown how effective it is in enhancing learning. Students learn faster, they retain more when television is used as a tool in the classroom, in addition to simply using it as a learning device so that they'll be prepared for the future. Our commitment this afternoon is a particularly important one. It's not just bricks and mortar, new lights and energy efficient windows or high-tech. It's a strong statement that this school district makes to the youth of this community, and I think that's what we're really all about. We here in Fox Chapel want our young people to realize that what takes place here is very important to their lives. And I submit to you, in modern, affluent American society, it is not practical to put young people in a rundown, shabby, poorly equipped facility and expect them to think that that's really something that's important. I think that's the crux of what this means to us today, that we can help motivate our staff, our students, we can help build morale by saying learning is important. And we do that by creating an appropriate learning environment. We aren't so foolish as to believe that this is what makes a good school, but it is one important part of an effective school equation. We are also committing ourselves today not only to maintaining this facility with a quality preventative maintenance program so it will be usable well into the 21st century, we're committing ourselves to keeping on the cutting edge of technology, on pedagogical skills, by using staff development and new curriculum design so that learning programs here will keep us in the forefront throughout this entire country. We're committing ourselves to that today because we believe that's so very important. I want to thank those school directors who are gathered with me on the podium today. Without their help, without their support, without their commitment, it wouldn't be possible. We would still be languishing in a high school desperately in need of repair. I want to thank the community for their support and for the number of staff people who put thousands of hours into the planning and the preparation work and the behind-the-scenes work that made this possible today. Staff, former school directors, current school directors, thank you very much. As I turn the lectern over to the next speaker, I want to thank you also for being part of this ceremony this afternoon. Glenn Schultz will now be here to turn some keys over to other staff people. Glenn Schultz has been our project architect, and Glenn and I spent many hours together wrestling over various decisions. Glenn, thank you for your help. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dan. I think I might be accused of being remiss if I just didn't take a couple moments and personally thank and publicly thank some people that helped over that 11-year chronology, Dan. It's hard to believe that it's been that long because it's been a real joy working with the staff, the faculty, and everyone involved in this project. There are some key people, though, that I really would like to thank. I'd like to thank them for their inspiration, their guidance, their leadership, their cooperation, and their assistance in this renovation project. First and foremost, I'd like to thank Dr. Jim Burke, the past superintendent, whose initial concept for not only the high school renovation, but for the creation of a community recreation place within the district became the inspiration for the entire project. Next, Dr. Freeman, for his outstanding guidance through the entire length of the project. Without his guidance, this project would not have happened. And thirdly, Dr. William Bresnahan, the school board president, and the entire school board for their support, and particularly Bill's leadership was instrumental in approvals for this project. And Dr. Myers. Bob has been a real joy to work with. He was the high school principal and project liaison. We worked very closely together, and his cooperation and assistance proved invaluable in this project. Thank you very much, Bob. And finally, Dr. Terry Keegan, the PlanCon liaison, who I refer to as Mr. Patience when it came to fill out all those long and lengthy state PlanCon forms. We are a team of architects and engineers, and I'd like to extend a particular thanks, personal thanks, to the engineers that helped WTW on this project. Dodson Mechanical Engineers, Tower Electrical Engineers, and Watson Structural Engineers. And a particularly warm thanks goes to the construction, coordination, and scheduling efforts of the Navarro Corporation, the construction managers on this project, to Pat and to Nick Navarro for their outstanding work and dedication. And it is no small task to keep a project like this going and coordinated while maintaining a school academic calendar. And finally, a very special and personal thanks to the entire and fine staff at WTW that I was privileged to work with on this project. Elmer Berger, Barton Schindel, Adrian Spallone, Deepak Wadhwani, Bob Bailey, and Larry Payne, just to mention a few, working together under the watchful eye and guidance of Tom Williams, the founding principal of WTW. I now have the honor of presenting the ceremonial keys to the building to four individuals who represent the four major user groups of this facility: the administration, the staff, the faculty, and the students. All of these groups were major players in the high school renovation project, representatives of which met with WTW in the initial planning stages of the project to determine that group's list of needs to be met in the renovation design. As I call your name, would you please come forward? Art Grindell, high school principal. Thanks, Art. Enjoy the facility. William J. DeBonis, support staff representative. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Patricia L. Norquist, teacher representative. Before I introduce Mike, I wanted to say a special thanks to all the students that have endured with great patience this project during its construction. It is certainly no small endeavor. Michael O'Malley, senior class president. Thank you very much.
I would like to take this opportunity, since we've just been talking about putting the thing together here, to recognize a number of firms and companies who have been engaged in the design and development and construction of this building project and who have generously supported this program today with their financial resources as well as their presence. As each group is identified, I would like to ask representatives from those groups to please stand in the audience, and I ask the audience to withhold applause until all have been called. I don't know if someone's still on the lights or not. Let's proceed with the DeBaldo Brothers Incorporated. Representatives from DeBaldo's, please stand. They had a lot to do with the excavation of the property area. CM Eichenlaub Company, been working very hard in recent times on the landscaping, the beautiful grounds which you have seen coming in here today. Easley and Rivers representatives were responsible for the exterior treatment of the building. The Elwood S. Tower Corporation, electrical engineering group. Library Design and Equipment Company, responsible for the library furnishings. The Limbaugh Company, responsible for the heating design and development of the school. M&K Electrical Company Incorporated for the electrical contracting. The James McFarland and Associates Incorporated, food service equipment. Navarro Corporation, which was just mentioned here, for their work as construction managers. And of course, Glenn's group, WTW, Williams, Trebilcock, and Whitehead, the architects on the project. Would you please acknowledge all of their efforts for this time? Thank you. For the better part of the past 2 years, Mr. Charles Hart has served as Vice President of the Board of School Directors. One of his many assignments has been to serve as Chairman of the Renovation, Maintenance, and Planning Committee, and in that role to act as a liaison between the school board and the school building authority. Mr. Hart will now make a presentation on behalf of the school board and the school district. Mr. Hart.
Thank you, Dr. Haig. I call Mr. William McIntyre, Chairman of the School Authority, to come forward and receive this award. Bill, on behalf of the Fox Chapel Area School District, I present you with this award in recognition of your years of service, especially the last few years, very difficult service, as Chairman of the Authority. Thank you very much for your work.
Thank you, Charles. I do appreciate this recognition, but it hasn't been all work. I've enjoyed the association with many other board members, school personnel, architects, contractors, and even the lawyers. In the past 30 years, this authority has handled some 9 projects in the school district. We've issued somewhere around $17 million worth of tax-free bonds. I'm happy to report that all of these will be paid off within the next year, much earlier than initially anticipated. We, of course, currently are finishing up our latest project for the school board, consisting mainly of the rejuvenation of this high school that we rededicate here today. Before I continue, though, I'd like to deviate from although my wife told me to keep it short, remarks that Dan Freeman made about the high-tech aspects of the school, the TV studios, the computers. I'm reminded of about 2 weeks ago when I was down in Hill's store and checking on a box of soap powder. I wasn't positive they had it priced right, and I went back up to the front of the store and asked the young lady there. So she called the young man who was responsible for that department up to the front and told him to go back and make sure that the box that I was referring to was the same correct size of 147 ounces. I walked back with him And when we looked at the box, his answer to me was, "See, that's not the same. That box is 9 libs and 3 ounces." I was ashamed to ask him whether he had graduated from Fox Chapel High School. So if I can say anything, Dan, please teach the kids to read, write, and compute. Use their mind. Perhaps at this time it would be appropriate for me to put on this little paper hat. This is the same hat I wore while breaking ground for this building, together with Bill Scott, who was then president of the school board, back on January 26, 1960. I've been on the authority the full 30 years of its existence. We have 5 members of our authority board, and there have been some 18 people who have served over the years. Perhaps I can claim to have added at least some measure of continuity to the authority operation. I would, however, at this time like to publicly thank one person for his able assistance to our board over the years. That person being the Fox Chapel area business manager, Harry Lodge. Harry, we do appreciate your help, and you've made my job a lot easier. Voluntary service on the school authority, like that on the school board, in my opinion, exemplifies one of the things that makes America the great country that it is. As our President George Bush put it, as those 1,000 points of light. Thank you for this honor.
It might well be said that the facilities you see here today came out of the fires of much planning and debate. Decisions were not easily made nor quickly made. I seem to faintly remember an occasion or two when unanimity on the school board did not prevail. Still, with a compromise here and a concession there, the job got done. If you've ever had the dubious pleasure of attending a school board meeting, you know that sometimes it is a challenge to keep all of the players working in the same direction at the same time. The gentleman who will make the next presentation has been up to that challenge for the past 2 years as president of the Board of School Directors, Dr. William P. Bresnahan.
Forty-six and one half months ago, several new board members took office, and that's when this project really got underway. And as the project has progressed, there are a number of people who have been very responsible for its success. One are the taxpayers. The taxpayers have taken on an enormous responsibility, 20-year debt, and but for a very few complaints, and very brief in their statement, they have done so once they found out the reasons why we were doing it. The second are the teachers and the staff. I beg your pardon, the teachers and the students. One of the most amazing things is with all the hammering, all of the sawing, all the work that's been going on in this building for 3 years, the product has never changed. It has never altered. They have continued, the teachers have continued to produce outstanding students, and the students have continued to represent us on the first-class level. The third group are the administrators, and particularly the financial wizardry of Harry Lodge, Terry Keegan and his tremendous ability in methodical and political maneuvering of the Department of Education, Dan Freeman and his overall supervision and coordination of the project, Fred Haig and Art Grendel in their support roles when these other men were called into the project. The fourth group are the people that we hired. We've had tremendous success, apparently and hopefully, into the future, with WTW, our architects, Navarro, the project managers, and all of our contractors and subcontractors. All of them seem to have done what they were hired to do. The fifth group are 5 board members. And I separate 5 out of 9 because they were the 5 people who had the guts to make this all take place. Several of them are here with me today, and I want you all to remember who they were. It's Jane Irvin and Nancy Jane Edelman and Charles Hart. And they were 3 of the 5 votes. The 4th was Gene Susie, who's not with us today, and the 5th was myself. Vern Cook would have, I'm sure, but he wasn't a member at the time. And if you recall, that was a brutal period. We were subjected to a tremendous amount of adversity, both oral and in writing. The consequences were devastating to my personal practice of law. And I do believe that others who had the guts to vote in favor of the project continually at each one of the votes suffered similar embarrassments and problems. We owe them a great debt of thanks. The 6th group of the authority members is what you must remember is that once the board had the guts to do what they wanted to do, they then took the whole project and handed it over to Bill and the authority. They were the people who did this work. They were the people who supervised it. They were the people who completed it. But one person stands above all the others. In effect, he became the administrative representative for the high school renovation. It started in the planning stages when the board was just trying to get their thoughts together, the new board. When he questioned continually whether or not what we were planning to do and what the architects were recommending was sufficient to take us into the next century. Was it sufficient to be state-of-the-art plus? Could we adapt it in the future? It continued through the construction stage. Is it sufficiently designed? Has it been properly produced? Has it been properly installed? Does it meet specifications? Is it an adequate substitute part? Are you contractors on time? Have you cleaned up the mess you've made? Are we on schedule? Do it over again, it's not satisfactory. Replace what you damaged on A when you were installing B. And the contractors developed both a fear and respect for the recipient of the award. Many of them I can recall referred to him as that no good interfering red-headed son of a We almost made it exactly on schedule, and much of the reason was because of Bob Myers. His methodical, consistent, long-range, business-like approach proved his adaptability and competence in construction matters to be as significant as his abilities as a school administrator. He truly showed himself to be a man for all seasons and for the right reasons. It is therefore my pleasure to read to you the plaque, inscription, in recognition of Robert D. Myers for his outstanding performance as district liaison during the Foxchop Area School renovation project, awarded this 15th day of October, 1989. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Robert Myers. Thank you. Congratulations, Bob.
Thank you very much. When I learned of this recognition, I really felt that it was unnecessary and, more importantly, undeserving. And I say that for this reason, that there were many people who I believe had a part to play in this project and who really suffered a lot of inconveniences. The teaching staff, the custodians and maintenance workers who probably were half dead half of the time because of all the moving around, and of course the students as well. So I accept this with the full knowledge that many people contributed a part to it, and I appreciate your kind words very much, Mr. Bresnahan, and also the feelings of the board about my performance on their renovation. We had a lot of arguments, a lot of debates, and on occasion even fought. The contractors were great to work with. Joe Farina and the Veros staff were great to work with, and certainly the architects as well. There were just many contributors to this whole thing. But as a result of all of the meetings and all the hassling, we were able to bring it in, I believe, close to being on time, which was something that many people thought wasn't going to happen in the very early stages of the project. So there are a lot of people who contributed, Mr. Bresnahan, to the success of this project, and I do appreciate very, very much the recognition today. Thank you.
of peace. With house we gather here. We share our vision of a world united. A world of peace. A world without fear. A future where all children may be free to grow in love, to grow in understanding. This is the world we hope one day will be. Join in our song, O people of all nations. Our song is peace, we sing today as one. May truth and freedom come to every nation. May peace abound where strife has reigned so long, that we may seek to love and build together a world united, righting every wrong. A world united in its love and freedom, proclaiming peace together in one song.
I would like to make one other acknowledgement. I'm sure she's in the auditorium somewhere, a person who had an awful lot to do with putting the planning of this program together, the public relations person for the school district, Mrs. Pamela Williams. Thank you, Pam. To make the final presentation of the program, I now call on someone who has served very faithfully as a member of this school board for 17 years, including a number of terms as president of that group. I'll say this for her, she really works at it. Mrs. Nancy Jane Edelman.
Thank you, Dr. Haig. It's been my privilege to work with both superintendents who have served Fox Chapel schools. Dr. Burke recognized the need for these enhanced facilities, and Dr. Freeman worked diligently to meet the needs for all our students. Thank you both. An athletics facility is an important part of a community. In the next 10 to 20 years, a much greater percentage of our population will find themselves in routine, service-oriented jobs. Their personal fulfillment will come in large part from their leisure activities. Athletics, as well as the humanities, will be increasingly important in providing enrichment to their lives. In one way, this athletic facility is dedicated to the whole Fox Chapel community, for it is really yours to use and to enjoy. But it will bear the name of a man who gave so much of his career to ensuring that Fox Chapel's academic standards were the highest, its staff the greatest, and that its curriculum offered far more than just the basics. Dr. Burke took a personal interest in special education and led the way in this part of our county. He personally helped to build the sets for many of the spring musicals. Because of his commitment, Fox Chapel became the first school district in the state to have an environmental program. His belief that athletics were an important part of life led to our broad offering of team and individual sports, a number equaled by only one other school district in the county. He loved the young people and traveled the state to attend their athletic and academic events. It is fitting that this recognition be given to James M. Burke, a man who believes every person should be provided with every opportunity to reach their full potential, and who began the journey on the road to excellence that Fox Chapel schools continue to follow. Dr. Burke. This plaque reads, "In recognition of Dr. James M. Burke for his vision, wisdom, and dedication while serving as superintendent of the Fox Chapel Area School District, and to further recognize his contribution to the district by naming the James M. Burke Athletic Facility in his honor, awarded this 15th day of October, 1989.
Anybody who has been around this district for any length of time knows that it's rarely that I have been speechless. I'm very close to being that now. Certainly, I would like to thank the present school board for the recognition afforded me, but at the same time, I would like to think that this recognition comes because of a lot of good things that have happened in this school community for a long period of time. Came about not because of any one person, and especially not because of a superintendent of schools alone, but because of the diligent work on the part of a large number of staff members, both administrative and teaching staff, custodial and secretarial staff, and a lot of other people who work so diligently, supported by a caring school board. And also, you had an opportunity to meet and hear from the president of the authority. A lot of background work goes into developing these school facilities, and a lot of diligence is needed by a group working with details. So even those people played a very important role in all of this. And a person by themselves can do very little unless they have the support, encouragement, and love of their family. And today I'm pleased to say that my daughter and my wife are here in the audience to share this time with me, and I want them to know that I've appreciated all the years, all of the things that they have done for me too. Now I'd also like to thank or congratulate the school board for having the courage, as Mr. Bresnahan had so eloquently stated. It was not an easy job, but having the courage to move forward with this project. Also would like to congratulate the President Superintendent, Dr. Freeman, and the rest of the administrative staff and the teaching staff for continuing with an outstanding school system that, as you know, has received national recognition during this past year. But also, when we talk about this facility itself and how it came to be, it really started about 13 years ago, and today there was acknowledgement of the work of Dr. Robert Myers for his efforts while this project was underway. I would personally like to also indicate to you that a lot of the vision and a lot of the fine things that are going to be in this, that are in this high school, that is going to make this a viable educational facility well into the 21st century came out of the work that Dr. Myers had done and with some of the staff members, but most specifically through his vision and what a high school really ought to be. Again, there are so many people, not only the current board members, but former board members, and I see Bill Martin is in the audience today, and I'd like if he would, for all of the board members, former board members, Bill, take recognition also for the kinds of things that happened, and for all the support and encouragement that was given me, not only by the people who we would call our staff, but also all of the people in the community, and most especially a tremendous group of young people who make up the Fox Chapel area schools. The real asset that this community has is its young people, and it's one of the reasons why after leaving the superintendency, I really thought that this would be the area in the country where I would like to make my home. Thank you very much.
This concludes the formal portion of this afternoon's program. You are invited to the reception which follows in the Commons and to tour the building where you'll find a number of exhibits and demonstrations going on. I especially call your attention to the 3 shows scheduled in the planetarium, 3:15, 3:45, and 4:15. Unfortunately, seating is necessarily limited. We thank you very much for attending. Enjoy the afternoon.